Very little effort here. I'm cutting some fat wood. You guys can see I'm cutting a little bit of fat wood here into a tinder pile. I'm making a feather stick with it if I have to. You know, there's a lot of control here in this knife because I can choke up on it. So here I have a little feather stick here. I can grab the knife. It has this nice spine here. I can really dig my finger in, and it gives me good control. You know, so I'm just showing you guys how this could work in a wilderness setting. Here I'm just cutting up this fat wood stick to make some tinder, and I'm going to light this now with my ferro rod, which is already on the knife itself, on the sheath. All right, let me just collect all my stuff here. Very sharp blade. It's S30V. So here we want to get these nice fine shavings here. You know, the smaller the better, the easier it's going to catch fire with the ferro rod. So you want to get yourself some nice fine shavings like that with the fat wood. And I'll show you guys how to start a fire with this, using this knife in a survival situation. What's going on, guys? It's New York Prepper here. I just wanted to do a knife review video. This is a new knife that I got a few weeks ago, and it's quickly become my new EDC knife and my new favorite knife to carry with me everywhere I go. I put this in my bug out bag. I put this on my person wherever it's legal to carry. It's a very nice little knife, and so I'll show you what it looks like. This is the Benchmade Hidden Canyon. It's a really beautiful knife. Very lightweight. I think it's only like 4 ounces or 3 ounces even, so it's a 1/4 pound. I'll give you guys a close-up here so you can see. There's the Benchmade logo, made in the USA. It's a really sharp blade here. I'll demonstrate in a second how sharp it is. Here you have the S30V, so it's a nice high quality steel, and it's just a really nice job that they did. It has a nice grind on it. Love the grind. Very sharp from the factory. I don't even need to touch it up at all. Normally when I buy blades from the factory, I usually touch them up with my Arkansas stones. But in this case, I don't even need to use an Arkansas stone. You know, I can just go right out of the box and use it. But it has these, there's 2 versions of it. The one that I have is with the G10 handle here. It's obviously full tang. It has these nice grips here. So I can put my thumb on this right here, and it gives me nice solid contact and nice traction. You know, not traction, nice solid grip. It's definitely a small knife. I'll give you guys measurements in a sec, but you know, it's got that nice knurling here, and also on the end of the blade. So if you're skinning or gutting, you know, some game, you know, this will help with control of the blade, so you don't accidentally cut too deep. You know, so it's really nice. It has this texturing on the back, which is really handy, you know, for skinning or gutting. And then here you have this piece here, which helps for, you know, bush crafting or any kind of woodworking. It has this nice little recess here, so you can put your index finger in there. Gives it a nice solid, you know, positive purchase. So even if I have to stab something with this, it's not going to slide out of my hand and cut my hand, because you got this little sweep here, so I can, you know, put my finger in there, and it has that nice solid contact with my index finger, so it's not going to slide out. You know, the blade itself is 2.6 inches or so, and the knife itself is probably about 6 to 7 inches long. I'll do a measurement in a second, but it's got this removable G10 handle, which is really nice. They do it in such a way so it looks like wood, but it's actually not wood. It's G10. G10 is a very durable plastic compound. It's very hard. It has this interesting like ridges here in the back. I'm not sure why they did that. I'm guessing to save on weight. But they have these little ridges in there. The blade itself is pretty thick for a small mini fixed blade knife. It's got some good meat on it. You know, the spine is nice and solid here. I'll take a measurement in a second, but it has a solid spine. You can see how thick that is all the way through the tang. You know, and it has this nice edge on the bottom here, which you could even use this as a hammer. If you have to hammer something or strike somebody with this in a self-defense scenario, you can use this hard edge here because the tang goes all the way through. You can see the tang goes all the way through the bottom here, through the grip. And it's got that nice beefy, you know, metal. It's not cheap, it's not small. You know, it's very solid knife for a little mini fixed blade. And of course it has a lanyard hole, so I put some paracord here, so you know, if I want to have extra control of the knife and I don't want to lose it, if it's like a survival situation, even for a knife fighting situation, it's good to have a lanyard so it doesn't fall out of your hand. The only thing is you can't change grips then. If you're in a situation in a knife fight, you can't change the grips as easily. If you want to switch from right to left-handed if you have a lanyard. But I have it set up for survival purposes right now. But you can easily, you know, every day carry this thing. It's very small. I'll just put it down on the ground, or on the table here, so you can see how big it is. This is just a Pop-Tart container. All right, so you can see compared to the Pop-Tarts, you know, it's pretty small. The reason, the philosophy of this knife, the reason why I bought it is that I wanted something small that was pretty much legal anywhere. You know, a small fixed blade knife like this is legal pretty much anywhere, even in very restrictive cities. You know, this knife is very legal to carry everywhere you go. It has this nice big blade here, which gives it some forward weight, so you can even, if you had to, the way that the blade is designed, it has this sweep here. You could kind of choke up on it like this, and you could even chop wood if you had to chop like a small branch, or, you know, chop something with this. You can chop because it's got this, you know, the blade is a little bit heavier, so you have some weight there. I like that big sweep, you know, that big sweep, the way it's designed. It just has a nice balance to it. It has a nice feel in the hand, very solid grip. You know, that knurling really helps a lot with, you know, control of the knife. You know, and it has this is also removable here, the handle, so you can remove it with some Allen screws here, some hex bits, you know, so you know, that's pretty cool if you want to change the grips out or whatever. You know, maybe make your own custom grips or buy new ones, whatever you want to do. So it's a really nice knife. I love it. And like I said, I bought this with the philosophy of having something I can carry with me almost anywhere I go, whether I'm in the city, whether I'm in the woods, if I'm in a survival situation. I always want to have a nice little backup knife in case my main survival knife is something happens to it, whether I lose it or it breaks or it's dull and I need something quick. You always want to have a backup knife. So that's kind of the philosophy of this knife. Why I bought it is, you know, I wanted something small that I could EDC everywhere I go. And I wanted something that would also function as a backup knife in my bug out bag or in my hiking bag if I go hiking or I'm going hunting or I'm in the woods. You know, you always want to have a backup, you know, because if something happens to your main survival knife, you always want to have something to back it up, you know, whether it's a folding knife or a fixed blade knife. I personally don't like folding knives, even as a backup knife. I just don't think they're strong enough. So here, like this knife, it's nice and compact. It's easy to conceal. It comes with this sheath here from Benchmade. It's a Kydex sheath with this leather thing that they wrapped around it, which is for horizontal carry. You know, the retention is pretty decent. You know, it's a little bit on the loose side, but it's definitely decent for a factory sheath. This is the sheath that I wear when I EDC this and I want a concealed weapon on me. You know, I can put this horizontally on my belt, and it's very low visibility. It's hard to see. It doesn't print at all. You could even wear this as a neck knife with a different sheath. Well, I'll get into that in a minute, but philosophy, like I said, is an EDC knife, also as a backup survival knife or a backup bug out bag knife. I wanted something that was legal to carry pretty much anywhere, and that I could use in either a self-defense situation or if I have to actually survive, if I break down my car somewhere, you know, or if I find myself in a survival situation, you know, and like, so for example, this is my, you know, like you can't carry a big blade like this, you know, if you're going into a city. You know, you're not going to carry a knife like this. This is a really good knife to have in a survival situation. You know, if you need to chop wood or, you know, defend yourself, you know, this nice big blade. I mean, you could kill a grizzly bear with this blade here. This is an Ontario Spec Plus Marine Bowie, Raider Bowie. And I sharpened the back edge here. But you're not going to be able to carry something like this with you. You know, if you're going into town, you know, on your hip, it's going to draw a lot of attention. Same thing with this knife right here. You know, this is my SHTF knife. You know, I'm not going to be able to carry a big blade like this everywhere I go. You know, it's not even legal in many places, you know, so you definitely want to have a backup. If something were to happen to my main SHTF blade, you know, I want something to back it up. And this is also a Benchmade. This is an Arvensis. It's 154 cm. I've done reviews on this before. You know, it's a really nice knife. It's got these holes here so I could lash it into a spear. This is just a really good combination survival and combat knife. But you know, a knife like this, you're not going to be able to carry every day, so you need something small that can also do the job that a larger knife can do, you know, and that's what I'm looking for with this knife, and that's why I bought it. I got this upgraded sheath for it. This is from Randy's Knives. You can check him out. This is the upgraded sheath. It's an olive drab sheath. He included this little braided paracord with the little skull on there, which is a nice little thing that he added in there. And it just has really good, I love the color of this sheath. He did a really good job. It was like $35. You can check him out, Randy's Knives. You know, and it has the Spyderco G-clip belt, boot clip slash belt clip. So I can put this on my boot, I can put this on my belt, I can change the orientation. Right now I have it vertical, but I can flip this the other way and I can have it horizontal as well. I can also wear this as a neck knife, you know, so in the summertime, if I can't have if I'm not wearing like anything with a belt, or if I'm, you know, wearing gym shorts or something like that, I'm going for a run, I can, you know, put a piece of paracord through these two eyelets on the top, and I can wear this as a neck knife, or I can even get a special, you know, neck knife chain for it. But the retention on the sheath is really good. He did a great job. Definitely recommend this sheath here if you're going to buy the knife. That's from Randy's Knives. Fits up to 1 3/4 inch belt. He did a really good job on this sheath. And then I also added onto it a fire steel. This is the Exotac fire rod. It's a nice small fire steel. You can see if I have already used it, tested it out, and it has, what's nice about it, it has a little waterproof capsule on the top here, and I can put like a little bit of tinder in there. I could put like a cotton ball, or one of those cotton fire starting wicks, which I don't have in there yet, but definitely recommend this fire rod, the Exotac fire rod. It's a nice small fire steel that can go with your Hidden Canyon. This little piece here for the fire steel, I got this from Armadas Carry. This is the name of the company, Armadas. They make all kinds of Kydex stuff, and they also sell this fire rod, so you can get both at the same time. This little piece here, this little holder for the fire rod was like maybe 20 or 30 bucks, and the fire rod was like 10 or 15. The sheath, this upgraded sheath, was like $35, which to me is a really good deal considering what you're getting. And then, the knife itself is probably, I think it runs around 110 or 120. It's a little bit pricey, but you get the high quality steel, the S30V steel. So it's definitely worth the money if you want something that can last. And S30V is a stainless steel. It's a corrosion resistant steel. So this knife is just really awesome. It's lightweight. It does everything I need it to do, and it's not too heavy and too large. I'm just going to take a measurement for you guys with my calipers here. So we got, it's actually maxing out my calipers. But here, so it's going to be just about, just over 6 1/4 inches or so. Right now it's saying 6.11. But it's not all the way to the end because my calipers are maxed out. But so it's about 6 1/4 inches long for the whole blade itself, or the whole knife itself, and the actual blade is 2.6. If they say it's 2.6, but if you actually count the cutting edge, the edge that's actually cutting, it's even less. I think it's going to be more like 2.5. Let me see if I can't do this here. So, you're looking at a cutting edge of 2.41. If we're going right where the cutting edge actually starts, it's probably about 2.4 inches for the actual cutting edge. All right, so that's legal in pretty much any city or any state. A fixed blade knife like this is pretty much legal to carry in most places, as long as you have a valid reason to carry it. And it's also nice and small. It can serve as a backup knife, and it's really good. It's very sharp. Let me just measure the spine for you guys. You can see how thick the spine is on the knife. I'll measure it for you guys right now. Let's just measure that right there. We got 0.14 inches. 0.14 inches. So it's got a pretty good thickness to it. Let's do that again. Let's see. Let's check it again. Yeah, so you're right around 0.14 inches on the blade thickness here. So it's got a good solid thick, metal here. It's not going to break. It's not cheap, versus a folding knife. You buy yourself a folding knife, the folding knives will snap. They don't open, they corrode. This is a lifesaver, okay? This little knife like this can save your life and get you out of a tough situation. Whether you have to defend yourself or, start a fire, do some bushcrafting or survival tasks, combined with a sheath like this and a fire steel. You can stick this in your backpack and forget that it's there. It doesn't weigh anything. And you have a knife that you can use for a lot of different things. It's just a really good knife. So I hope you enjoyed the review. And before we go, I'll show you how sharp it is from the factory here. I'm just putting a little bit of pressure. You can see it's pretty much cutting it no problem. And just look at that. All right, I could do the famous All right. So it's very sharp, you know. Definitely don't want to get cut by this thing. It's razor sharp right out of the factory. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned. I got some tests that I did with this, so check out the tests, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Alright guys, so I want to show you how easily concealable this Benchmade Hidden Canyon knife is. I don't know if you could see, try to see if you could find where the knife is on my person. I bet you can't find out. Is it on my back? Is it on my side? See if you can't find where it is. I'll help you out a little. I'm gonna change the camera so you can see. Can you see it anywhere? Let me know if you could see it. Am I printing? Try to find the knife. See if you can't find it on my backside. Alright, so here it is. Right here. See that? It's concealed right here. This is the sheath here. Alright, I have it on my belt. Horizontal carry. So you can't really see it now. I'm wearing a t-shirt too, obviously, and you still can't see it. And if I need to use it, I just reach underneath and I grab it, and then I'm ready to go, you know, whatever the situation is. I can slice, I can stab, you know, whatever the situation is that I'm dealing with here. But this makes a really good backup knife, or an urban carry knife, as long as it's legal in your area, wherever you live. Usually fixed blade knives are not regulated as much as folding knives. And like I said, this one only has a 2.67 inch blade. So it's a small blade, but you know, you can easily do damage with this little blade here. You know, if I come in and I cut you in the right area, this is going to do a lot of damage. So you know, it's definitely a good way to conceal. Horizontal carry is a great way to conceal. You know, so here it is on my waist. I can also put it on my back. The only reason I wouldn't have it on my back is if you're sitting down in your car or something like that. It's going to kind of get in the way, and you know, so it's definitely a great knife to carry with you every day. You know, it's, as you see, it's nice and small. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate on my waist here, and I can easily reach it if I have to. You know, I have this lanyard here because I have it set up for survival purposes right now, but if I was EDCing this in a city somewhere, or as a defensive knife, I would probably take the lanyard off, just because, you know, it just gets in the way. But you know, if it's a survival knife, you may want to have that lanyard so you can you don't lose it. But you know, here I have this knife, you know, and you can't even see that it's there. And like I said, all I do to draw it out is I take my hand, I reach under my shirt, I grab the handle, and I'm ready to enter the fight. All right, so very good knife, and decent sheath that comes with it. So I just wanted to show you that. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how you can use this knife to start a fire. What I have here is a fat wood stick. I have my Benchmade Hidden Canyon knife. I have my sheath here, which I have my Exotac Fire steel on there. Alright, so I'm going to use this to start a fire now. And what I also have is I also have this cotton ball. Alright, you should always keep a cotton ball. It'll make your life a lot easier when you have to start a fire, okay? And always keep a fire steel with you as well, but keep a dry cotton ball. Keep it inside of a waterproof bottle. I keep mine inside of a waterproof match bottle. I keep like 10 cotton balls. Each one of these cotton balls will help you start a fire. What you have here, you see these pieces of wood. This is the shreddings from the fat wood, and you know, if you're in a survival situation, you should always keep one stick, at least one stick of fat wood in your survival kit or your bug out bag. And what you do is you shred off You shred off some shreds of the fat wood, and that's going to be your tinder source to get the fire started. And then from there you can put sticks and larger pieces of fuel. But I'll show you how well this knife works in terms of carving wood. You know, you can see that I'm very easily just shaving, you know, pieces of fat wood off of this stick here, you know, without any difficulty here. You know, it's working really well. You know, and it's just a really sharp knife. You can see, you know, if I have to make a feather stick, I can do that as well. You know, I'm not a big feather stick guy, but you know, I like to keep things simple. But you could even chop with this thing if you had to. It's got a heavy, the knife is wide enough and heavy enough that, you know, you could chop with this if you had to. But you know, I'm just carving a little bit of fat wood here, and we're going to start a fire now with this. Okay, don't try this at home. I'm in a well ventilated area, and obviously I have a fire extinguisher in case something goes wrong here, but you definitely don't want to do this indoors. So I'm going to take my fire steel now. I'm going to take my cotton ball, and I'm going to spread the cotton ball out a little bit so it's a little bit bigger, so I can catch a spark with it easier. You know, you just spread it out, make it a little bit wider, you know, and lay it down nicely, and this will catch a spark very easily. So spread it. See how I spread the cotton ball out, make a little more surface area. You know, this way the spark it'll catch this a larger target for your fire steel. So here's my fire steel. I'm just going to strike it now. Alright, so now you got to act quickly. Put your fat wood on there, and the fat wood will catch fire. Alright, obviously you don't want to smother it, but now I have a fire. I can get the fire. I can add more fire to this if I need to, more wood. So, and this will burn quite a bit. This little piece of fat wood here, it will burn quite a bit. So it will burn for a little while. These little fat wood pieces. If you don't know what fat wood is just it's a very sappy wood. It has natural resins in it. So that's how you start a fire in an emergency situation with your Benchmade Hidden Canyon knife, alright, and in conjunction with your Exotac fire steel. And that can go right on the sheath. You have this whole system, you know, that lets you, you know, start a fire in an emergency. You have this whole thing together, and it's very small and compact. And you can carry this with you pretty much anywhere you go in the city, around town. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of room. You know, it doesn't. Here sometimes you can spread it out a little. If the fire starts to smother itself, you got to spread it out. But you know, here's pretty much. You know, if I had sticks now, I could be putting sticks on this. You know, and as you see, it's still burning. So, you know, fat wood is definitely a good thing to have with you. I mean, I could even burn this whole stick if I wanted to. This whole stick will burn. If I had to, I could put this stick here, and the whole stick will catch on fire. But I just wanted to show you guys that and show you how this thing works. It's very great, very sharp knife right out of the box. There's that nice Benchmade logo there. But so that's how you start a fire. You know, very simple. Alright, so thanks for watching, and God bless.